Survivor, winners of their livery cap and elimination spoilers for episode 11. On the latest Survivor, Winners at War episode, one castaway is going to get into some shenanigans trying to play double agent. According to the episode description for this is extortion, the 11th episode of season 40. Also, one player who has been playing it cool finally goes to work to search for an idol. Who do you think the double agent is? Tony Vlachos seems like a likely choice. He's getting pretty squirrely in the game right now. As for the playing it cool person, that could be Kim Spradlin-Wolf. She hasn't done much so far, but she's still a very smart player. Maybe she thinks now is the time to make her move. Also, if you've been wondering what Survivor is going to do for its live finale, CBS announced this week that it will be a virtual finale where host Jeff Probst stages a reunion via computer video feed. They also announced that after the 3-hour Survivor finale on May 13th, the next season of The Amazing Race will begin airing in the same time slot the following week, on May 20th. Follow along here with our live recap, but be warned of spoilers for the episode. All times Eastern. Jeremy Collins is back at camp alone because he left Tribal to keep himself safe. He compares it to a Houdini trick where he drops a smoke bomb and disappears. Now I wish that was part of the safety without power advantage, that you got to disappear in a literal puff of smoke. That would have been amazing. But anyway, when everyone gets back, the Ben Drybergen/Sarah Lachina/Sophie Clark/Nick Wilson alliance is miffed that Jeremy left Tribal and they're out to get him. Jeremy is trying to say he's not the biggest threat, but I mean, come on, man. You're a pretty big threat, especially to win immunity. Meanwhile, Michelle Fitzgerald, Denise Stapley, and Kim are not really sure what to do at this point. As everyone sleeps that night, Tony decides it's finally time to go look for an idol. He's done so well laying low thus far, but he has decided it's time to really start playing. Nick finds him looking for the idol, but luckily, Tony is able to throw Nick off and send him a different way. Then he finds the idol. Later, he talks to Jeremy and Kim about how much he wants Sophie out, and then Jeremy tells Michelle privately that he wants to work with Tony. So it might be a new alliance of Jeremy, Michelle, Kim, Tony, and Denise. But Kim tells Denise she thinks Tony is being a double agent. Out on edge of extinction, Natalie Anderson finds a bottle with a note inside. Parvati Shallow is there, but nobody else is around. They read the clue and it's pretty cryptic, but they figure out it means there's something hidden under their bed at camp. But the problem is that nobody leaves that area all day, so they'll never have a chance to look for it. Eventually, everyone goes to watch the sunset with Parvati, and Natalie quickly finds a small scroll. It's an extortion advantage. They can block one player from playing in the next immunity challenge and voting in the next tribal council for as many fire tokens as they want to ask for. Now, the people with the most fire tokens are Tony, Denise, and Nick with 3 apiece, but what if Parvati and Natalie can ask for more than a person has? What if that person then has to get other people to give them fire tokens? That would be crazy. Tony is the one the girls send the extortion advantage to. He's so excited at first, but his excitement quickly turns to horror. They ask him for 6 fire tokens. Holy crap. And he has to pay before the immunity challenge, so he has to get people to give him 3 fire tokens. He decides to ask his fake alliance for help. Michelle is the first person he talks to, but the joke's on him because she doesn't have any left. But Michelle gets Jeremy to give Tony 1 fire token. He only needs 2 more, but he thinks he now should approach his real alliance, so Tony gets 1 from Ben and 1 from Nick. Immunity challenge time. The challenge is balancing on a beam while holding a large chess piece steady with a long pole. The last one standing wins and they get both immunity and 2 fire tokens. Kim is out quickly, everyone else makes it to the first break where they move farther back on the beam. But the pole is very heavy and most of the women drop after they move farther back. Sophie is the only one left. It seems a little unfair that a competition based on upper body strength doesn't have a male and a female winner. Lo and behold, Sophie drops quickly too, and so does Nick, so it's down to Tony, Ben, and Jeremy. But then Ben and Jeremy drop in quick succession and Tony wins his 2nd immunity in a row. Wow. Guess losing those 6 fire tokens were worth the money. And now he can pay people back. Kim thinks it's okay that Tony won again because it puts a huge target on his back. She decides she has to go with whatever the majority is doing, and the majority wants to vote for Jeremy, with 2 votes thrown at Michelle just in case. But Denise and Jeremy tell Kim to vote for Ben and she nods and smiles, but it turns out both Kim and Denise are paying Jeremy lip service here. So it seems pretty cut and dried that Jeremy is going home. Until Tony decides it's time to take out Sophie because she's too close to Sarah, so he is going to get Jeremy, Michelle, and Nick to vote for Sophie. But Sophie has an idol. The only questions are A, if Tony can get those votes lined up, and B, if Sophie gets wind of it and plays her idol. One sticking point is that Jeremy doesn't believe Tony. He thinks Tony is trying to play him and Denise and Kim are loyal. It's easy to see why he thinks that. Denise and Kim seem more trustworthy than Tony overall. But in this case, Tony is telling him the truth. At Tribal Council, everyone agrees that people are keeping their advantages to themselves, so it's a lot of half-truths and secrets. They also talk about how they are hesitant to make big moves because they want to have big moves on their resume, but they don't want to do it too early and they don't want to pad their resume with unnecessary moves just to make it look like they're doing something. There are no idols played. The votes go Jeremy, Michelle, Jeremy, Michelle, Jeremy, Sophie, 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 and Sophie. She stands up and blasts herself, "Idol in my pocket." Oh, no. Oh, that's a shame. I like Sophie a lot. Wow. On her way out, she gives her fire tokens to Sarah and Kim. So now the fire token count stands at. In the game right now, the fire token count stands at Denise with 3, Nick with 2 after giving 1 to Tony, Tony with 2 after winning immunity, and Kim and Sarah each with 2 after getting Sophie's tokens. Jeremy has 1 after giving 1 to Tony. Ben and Michelle don't have any. However, we don't know if Tony kept his 2 tokens or paid back 2 of the 3 people who gave him tokens, i.e. Nick, Jeremy, and Ben. We'll have to see how he figures that out. Out on edge of extinction, Parvati has 5 fire tokens, 2 from selling the 50-50 advantage to Michelle and 3 extorted from Tony. Natalie has 3 as well from Tony, presumably they split their demand evenly. Danny Boatwright also has 2 fire tokens after selling the 50-50 advantage to Michelle. No one else has any fire tokens. Survivor, Winners at War airs Wednesdays at 8 p.m. ET/PT on CBS.